I did a piece earlier, folks, on Robin George, the rock guitarist that sadly died over the last 2 or 3 days. And I did say when I did the piece that I looked at a couple of bits and pieces on YouTube over the last couple of days. One documentary about 50 minutes long and another 15-minute thing. And when I sort of researched what he'd done, I mean, I knew of him anyway. I'd heard of him before. I knew he'd done many collaborations, but I didn't realise how many he'd done. And I didn't realise he'd performed with many people that I consider heroes, many people I really, really like. I'll just give you a bit of a rotor of some of the people he's worked with, and it's lots, I'll be honest with you. It's many, many more than I realised. He's done work with, who's done work with? David Byram, I think he was off Uriah Heep, Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy, Glenn Hughes from Deep Purple, Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin, John Wetton, was he from Asia? I think he was, and Magnum. He's also done work with Diamond Head and Sean Harris on his own, the Diamond Head singer. He's done absolutely bundles, and I mean bundles. And as I say, it shocked me when I seen what he'd done. I mean, in the main, he would class himself as a guitarist. He's also been a singer, and he's been a record producer for many a year. But one of the stories he told, I've seen it in both pieces that I watched last night on YouTube. He was telling the story about Phil Lynott. I know there was a collaboration with Thin Lizzy, and I didn't quite know what it was, although I should, because I consider myself something of a super fan. He did a single with Lynott just before Lynott died called 19. I actually watched 2 different videos of it only yesterday, as it turns out. And on the first one, you see a bit of guitar play, but you don't see the guy. And on the second one, I think it's like a Razzmatazz Christmas edition. I think they called it the Raz or Raz. And Thin Lizzy were on that, and it was himself, Robin George, Phil Lynott, and Brian Downey. I think it was just a 3-piece, and very good it was too. Definitely a good guitarist, definitely a very good guitarist. I'm going to have to listen to more, to be honest with you, because I quite like what I've seen. I like what I heard. He had a lot to say. Anyway, he was saying he collaborated with Phil Lynott, and they were going to get Thin Lizzy back together not long after Phil Lynott actually died. The plan was to get them together, but Phil died, unfortunately, when he did. And he said in the couple of weeks before Lynott died, I was the last person he was working with. I was at his big house down south on a regular basis. He had a studio in his shed, a recording studio. We was recording, we were putting stuff down on tapes and what have you. He said, and I think he said, I think it was Christmas Eve or something like that. He said, we decided to wrap up for a week or two and then get together again. He said, anyway, he said, one assistant of Phil's was going to take me to the station to catch a train so we could get home from wherever he lived at the time. And Phil insisted, he said, no, I'll come with you. He said, we can listen to the cassette in the car we've been recording. He said, and as I left the car, I said, can I have that copy, Phil? He said, it's the only one I've got with me. I want to add some things to it. He said, I'll get you a copy after Christmas when we get back together again. Anyway, that Christmas, Phil died, sadly. He said the cassette went missing. He said, but they'd also done stuff, I think he said, on 8 tracks. It all went missing. And he said for the last sort of 20-odd years, he's been trying to track it down and he could never find it. That was the first interview I heard. And then I heard another interview that he did only a year ago. And he said they've tracked a lot of this stuff down and it's being held by a woman in Sweden. He didn't say who the woman was, what relationship she had to Phil or to Thin Lizzy, whatever else. He didn't say who it was at all. He said, but she's got everything. And he said it's awful. He said it may only have been weeks before he died and his health might not have been great at the time. He said, but he was still performing brilliantly on these tracks. He said, and his writing was still on the money. He said his vocals and his, because he was a wordsmith, Phil, and it was brilliant. He said, I cannot believe the world hasn't been able to hear the stuff. He said, and it's in the hands of this woman in Sweden, and I don't know what to do to get it off her. That was a year ago. Sadly, now he's died. I don't know who the woman is. I don't know if she's ever going to release them. Don't know if we're ever going to get to hear them. But it's sad to think that they were weeks away from starting up a new band, and Phil sadly passed. Anyway, I thought I'd pass that story on. There might be Thin Lizzy or Robin George fans out there that would like to know it. I heard it yesterday. I'm passing it on to you.